So this is part 3 of the study guide for quarter 4, 7. All right, let's take a look over at a 3A. Okay, when you look at this one right here, you have a 32. So first thing you do is think about what can you break down with 32? 2 and 16, right? Well, square root of 60 is a perfect square, correct? So, well, actually, no, hold on a second. It's cubed. You see the cube right there? So just kidding. So you need 3 of a kind, right? So that's 2 and 8, and then 2 and 4, correct? So you have 1, 2, 3, 3 twos. So when you have your cube root, you could take a 2 out. Does that make sense? But that 4, you don't have 3 4s, or there's no more 3 2s. So that stays back inside, right? Don't get that confused with square root, okay?
M outside.
Yes, because it's, well, yeah, m cubed, so you put the m outside. So is this true? This is true. Okay. Let's take a look over here. This is not true because this is on a square root. So you can't multiply square root with a number outside of a square root. So it'll be 3. It will, because that's both inside. So it'll be 14. And then if you could go ahead and break it down, you could take something out, but that's only 2 times 7. There's nothing to take out, right? So this is what it is. So this one is false. For C, let's write this down. 4 squared is 16, right? 8 squared is 64. If I were to, I don't think this is true. If I add this together, it'll be 70, 80, correct? This is a square, so technically this will be a 4, correct? This is an 8 squared because square root of 8 squared is just 8, correct? When you add it together, it's 12, right? If that answer is 12, square root of 80 is not 12, right? Because square root of 12 is the same thing as 144, so that's going to be false. But here's the thing. On a side note, if it was 4 squared times 8 squared, if it's a time, do you see that? You could do 4 squared times and write it separately like that. Do you see that? And the reason for that is because multiplication A times B is the same thing as B times A. You can split it out. Okay. Okay, let's go back to D. Cube root, right? You need 3 of a kind, correct?
Yeah.
So here you have x to the third times x to the third. Do you see that? Because 3 plus 3 is 6, right? So for that one, you could take out x squared because there's 3 of them, right? But on the bottom, the y squared does not have 3 of a kind, so it stays back in. So this one is true, right? And if you're not sure, like I said, you just go ahead and write it separately. So on top right here, you have a cube root, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And you know that you need 3 of a kind. So these 3 comes out as an x. These 3 comes out as an x. So it's x squared. Do you see that? So if you're not sure, you can always just write it out, okay? All right, 1A on solving inequalities. We do have to go ahead and move this a little bit. So subtract the 3x on both sides, you'll get a 2x, correct? Add the 6 on the other side is less when you go to 16. Divided by the 2, x is less when you go to 8, right? So when we go ahead and graph this, let's just say this is it right here. It is going to be a closed circle going to which direction? It's eating the letter. If it's eating the number, you go to the right. Or the letter, you go to the right. Correct? Versus if it's eating a number like that, you go to the left. Okay? Okay, B, distribute. Negative 8x plus 12 is greater than 32. subtract, right? 12. 32 minus 12 is a 20, right? When you divide by a negative, what happens to your inequality sign? You switch it. So you have a negative 20 over 8, which is the same thing as a negative 10 over 4, which is the same as a negative 5 over 2, right? Which is negative 2.5. That makes sense? The answer is x is less than negative 2.5, right? So this is a negative 2, and this is a negative 3. Negative 2.5 is going to be right there. It's an open circle, and it's going to the left. Okay? Distribute. You get 3b minus 6 plus 2b is greater or equal to b minus 22, right? Okay. Subtract the b, or actually combine like terms. So combine like terms. 3b, 2b is a 5b minus 6 is greater or equal to b minus 22, right? Okay. Then we're going to subtract the b. So 5b minus b is 4b minus 6 greater or equal to negative 22, right? Okay. Add the 6, correct? Negative 22 plus 6 is a negative or 16, right? Divided by the positive 4, no signs changes. Negative 4, right? Okay, so let's say this is negative 4. Close circle, right or left?
Just going right.
Yeah, and that's the answer. Okay, so for 2a, this is the one we had to break it down, right? So we're gonna go ahead and use this part first, right? So we have that, we're gonna subtract the 2w. So negative 15. That's when you get to 5 minus 2 is 3w minus 9, correct? Add the 9 on both sides. You should have a negative 6, right? Divided by 3 on both sides.
Plus 2. W.
Yeah, but we subtracted it. 5w minus 2w is 3w.
Okay, so
So negative 2. That's your first answer. Okay? Second answer. Add the 9 on both sides. 5w is less than 33. Those really terrible numbers. Divided by 5, you get 33 over 5, correct? But then when I rewrite it, I'm going to have a 5 on the bottom. 5 times 6 and 3/5, correct? See the graph these two. So let's go ahead and graph. First one's a negative 2, so let's just say that's negative 2 right there. Okay. This one is 6 and 3/5. Let's just say this right here is 6 and 3/5, right? 6 and 3/5 is an open circle going to the left. Negative 2 is a closed circle going to the right. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. I'm gonna have you do the last B and C on your own. But I want to go over this one over here first for B, right here. If we're doing shading, okay. For this one, you're gonna go ahead and subtract the 2 because we want to write it in a y-intercept form, which is like this, correct? So in order to do that, we're gonna subtract the 2x on both sides. So negative 5y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 10. Divided by negative, you switch the sign, right? 2 over 5x, and 10 divided by a negative 5 is a negative 2, right? So negative 2 is right here. Go up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Go up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have a straight line, correct? And then it's eating the letter Y, so you shade up. This is the one, remember, if you have this or this, it's a solid line, like this or this, it's a dotted line, right? And if it's eating the letter Y, you shade up. If it's not eating letter Y, you shade down. Okay. C. When you look at C, what kind of line is it going to be? It doesn't have a slope.
Um, horizontal.
No, it's B. Or it is horizontal. Actually, it's horizontal, so the slope is 0. So at 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straight line, shading up. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna have you go ahead and work on B, C, and A. I'll have the answers here for you as well. So yeah, start working on it. She chose some really bad questions here because she didn't have one that has an inequality of just greater than or less than. So these are like terrible questions.
Yeah.
-1, 1, 2, 3, close. Okay. And that concludes everything. So we're done with this one then.